Hi everyone, welcome to MTO Sociology again. I thought I'd make a video all about revision, and essentially this can apply to everything, not just sociology, not just ethics, any subject really. I've been looking at the research, I've been looking at the science, doing a lot of my own kind of experiments in lessons as well, some of you may have noticed, and seeing what works and what doesn't. So we're going to go through some of the ideas around revision and how you can get the absolute most of your time before the exams to get the best grades possible, what you can do in class and out of class. Now, the biggest piece of advice I can give you, and this is from someone who never did this and always regretted it, is write a schedule you can stick to. If you know that you are only going to do one piece of revision a night at most, that's fine, that's your decision, but make it count then. And likewise, don't plan to do 4 hours a night and get no sleep and things like that. Sleep, diet, rest, and relaxation are all really, really key to making sure your revision sticks and works. If you just overwork yourself in the run-up to the exam, it's no good. So write a schedule for your revision, planning breaks, planning days off. If you know you've got an event or you're doing something, or you set aside a day to meet friends, to do whatever, put it in, that's great. Check what resources you need, get the calendar drawn out and start from there. Then look at each exam and think about what you're going to do 1 week out, and set a special session aside 1 week out where you have a rough idea of what you're going to do, what you're going to cover, and also write down how it will benefit you. You are not going to revise the whole paper in 1 hour, and you're not going to do it 1 week before and that be it. And then lastly, think about the night before. That is not the time to revise, that is the time to kind of polish and finesse what you know. That's where you do recall, really short, simple quiz questions. You're not writing model answers, you're not reading the textbook cover to cover. You are literally just checking you understand key ideas. So sketch that out, plan it out, see how it looks, and even spend an evening doing that, or whatever, however long it takes until you're happy with it. And be realistic. You know, it's like when you start at the gym and you think, right, I'm going to smash every exercise and do 4 hours, and after half an hour you're completely done. Be realistic with yourself. You know, don't spend more than half an hour at a time. Plan in a break, plan in some time, and maybe split your evening up and think about it that way. Now I'm going to give you some bad news. Some of the stuff you love to do is not good revision. Reading huge lumps of text is just not going to help you. It's very passive. Yes, you will need to read books, such as your revision guide or your own book, but just scanning it cover to cover, you're actually not going to learn anything. All you're going to do is pick out what you already know. Similarly with highlighting, you can see the example there at the bottom is just pink, isn't it? That makes absolutely no difference. We all love getting the highlighters out and we think this is great. And there's a time for that in lessons. You know, if you're looking at an article and you want to pick out key ideas, for example, or a source, but that's it. But actually what highlighting does, it's the same reason we like watching, I don't know, say TV shows that we've seen 100 times, or films, because our brain knows what's going to happen. We get a little endorphin rush. We get a little bit of sort of serotonin and things, and it makes us feel good, but it's not actually helping us. And it's the same with revision. So get rid of the highlighters. Cramming. I was a crammer. That's all I used to do, and I'm sure I've told you all about the exams I had great success in and the exams I completely flunked. And now I'm older and wiser, I realised actually the ones I messed up months in advance because I wasn't doing the right things in lessons. I was being very passive, and we're going to come on to that. Don't stick YouTube on unless you're watching one of my videos, you know, and TikTok, whatever, social media, ban all of that. The only thing you should use your phone for is as a timer if you're doing model answers or quizzes or whatever. Kind of treat it like work, like you can do an hour of work, and be really strict with yourself. And if you can be strict with yourself for an hour a night or 2 hours a night, whatever your schedule says, that's the best way. And then you're not spending all night from when you get home until the wee small hours kind of just trying to take stuff in via osmosis and hope that it sticks. That's not going to be good for you. So think about you want to get in the habit of training your brain really quickly, really small pieces of information. That's going to help you. So here's what you can do that will work. When I mean space and revisit learning, I mean space it out. Start with one module, one topic in a very general sense. So if we take a sociology example, start with families, start with the functions of the families, and if you quiz yourself on those and you do really well, you know it. You don't need to spend much detail on it in much time. What you get wrong, make a note of it, write it down, keep a track, and then maybe save that for that week before the exam session. So that week before the exam could be all the things that you struggled with or got wrong or made a mistake on. And every so often come back. So if you're 4 weeks from the exam, once a week, revisit what you got wrong. And this is what chunking means. Don't try and read the whole chapter of the textbook or the revision guide and just learn the topic. Look at the headings and you'll notice, and this ties into the second bit of visual revision techniques. I've been doing a lot of stuff with you where we pick icons and mind map around it. A lot of color coding, get your felt tips out. Maybe even that's where your highlighters come out. You can even be really, really strict with yourself. Use the same icons for the same things. So pick an icon for Marxism, feminism, functionalism. And if you want to be really, really pedantic with it, pick a color too. So you always know that blue is functionalism, for example, or whatever it might be. And it's the same with RE, beliefs, practices, Christianity, Islam, whatever you're doing, any of the history topics, etc., geography. Break them right down into small pieces. And this is where flashcards and quizzing and testing yourself comes in. You've got Seneca. Use that once to identify your problems, or use flashcards. If you like making flashcards, that could be your first session. Make your flashcards. And then the beauty of that is you can teach other people. If mum, dad, siblings, whoever's at home has no idea what the material is, you're going to have to explain it. You're going to have to know it, and you'll get to know it by doing that. And you'll notice, when they mispronounce a sociologist's name or a word, you'll catch them and you'll say, no, it's this. And that's actually showing you know it. So take those little victories. Be really honest with yourself, but be really positive too. Don't just go, oh, I cannot do one obscure study. I can't remember the research method from one study. That doesn't matter so much. Think about all the things you can do. And for some of you, it will be that very, very small, fine detail that you're working on, and for some of you it'll be much more bigger building blocks, general stuff for each subject. It's totally irrelevant what other people are doing. Do what matters to you. And if you are going to revise with friends, be strict with yourselves. Treat it a bit like work. So you have that hour where you do it, and then you go back and you build it up. Think of it like a video game. Those of you that play computer games, you don't just get a game, play it, and when you fail the level, give up and never do it again. You go back a week later, or the next night, or even the next hour, you try again and you try and complete it. Take that kind of mindset into this as well, because you do it every day at school, you do it every day in your private life, and you don't even think about it. You make a tiny inconsequential mistake and it doesn't even register. You just fix it. But it's the same with your work here. But just set yourself an environment and a mindset and a place where you can do it. And that's important too. If you need to use a classroom after school, let me know and we'll sort something out, or the library. If home isn't the best place for whatever reason, don't revise there. Find a place that is the best place for you. And this is kind of what the science shows. You can train your brain at any age and at any time, but the longer you leave it and the more haphazardly you do this, the less the result will be. So make the result as optimized and efficient as you can. So to summarize, write a schedule for your revision and stick to it as best as you can, and be honest with yourself. If you miss a night or you mess up, work with it and adapt. Don't just like throw it in the bin and that's it, my revision's done. It's not. Until you've sat that exam, nothing is done. So take the opportunity. Sketch out very loosely what you're going to do for each session and think of it in terms of recall, short, simple, stress-free revision. And if you don't know the answer to something, that's what revision's for. That's what mock exams are for. If you really get stuck, write it down and go and ask your teacher the next day. because it may take all of 5 seconds to ask that question, and then you're done. That's it. And again, space and revisit your learning. Like I said with the video game analogy, or anything that you do, learning an instrument, playing a sport. You know, if you're playing football and you miss, you don't then not take another shot ever again. If anything, you take more shots. It's the same here. Chunk up your work, make it manageable. Do not try and conquer the whole GCSE in a night. Conquer one part of one topic at each stage. And remember, what you already know, there's no point going over that, so don't. And using flashcards, quizzes, testing yourself to start off with, that will help you learn what you need to revise. If you assess what you already know, you know not to go into that, go into the bits that you're struggling with and you're not sure, because then you'll feel confident about everything, and I guarantee you'll sit down in that exam and you'll feel ready for anything, and you'll get the best result that you deserve. If you've got any questions or if you've got any tips, please share them below or email me. You'll notice everything that we've done is on the classroom. If you want templates for, you know, things with the icons, for example, to mind map, etc., not a problem. Just let me know and I'll get those to you. I hope this helps. And again, good luck in your GCSEs.